I've actually finished my self-covered belt for my very special Vogue dress. Hello everyone, I'm Deb and this is DB Designs and Sewing Australia. Welcome to all my subscribers and welcome if you're new to the channel. Please stick around. Today I'm going to be showing you my effort, let's call it that, of making a self-covered belt. You really wouldn't want to be looking too close at it, but from a distance it looks fine. I will insert photos as we go. The photos are with the dress. To make the self-covered belt, I used a belt buckle kit, which was actually quite difficult to get. And so I made a practice one. I think I bought 4 sets. It's not that they cost very much, it's that... So that was my first effort of covering on. And this is my effort of making the belt buckle for the dress. So it basically goes like that. You can't tell that it's a bit messy when you put it on. Now the issue I had was that I could not buy the belting. Could not buy the belting in Australia anywhere, and I could get it from somewhere in Europe, but it was going to cost $79 to freight it here. So, you know, a piece of plastic strap was going to cost that much money. So in the end, I used a piece of buckram, which is what you use for curtains. So I bought it from the curtain department at Spotlight. And when I said to them, one of the sides is shiny, is it adhesive? They said no. Well, it is. That is the shiny side and it is adhesive. That's the matte side and it's not. So for the width I wanted, I actually folded the whole strap in half like that and ironed it together to make it thicker. And then I cut it to the size I wanted. And I've got this piece in case I want to make another belt. And it actually works out quite well. And when you see it on with the dress, you'll see that, because I was going to put a Velcro dot to hold this strap in place, but I actually don't need to. It stays where it's supposed to be. The only problem is when you use the real belting, you're supposed to sew a tube and then thread the belting through the tube so that you've actually got no visible stitches. Well, that just wasn't possible with this improvised piece of belting that I made. So I'm quite happy with it. I'll pop some photos in so you can see what it looks like on the dress. I actually quite like it. I haven't done any belt loops at the side of the dress yet. And I'm probably going to wear it once to see if I need to put any belts, riders on the side of it. If I did, I'd only be making them out of thread, you know, so some woven thread to hold it in place, because I would like to have the ability not to wear the belt if I wanted to. The first time I wore it, I did not wear a belt with it. But pretty happy with how this turned out, but to be honest, that is not an easy thing to do. Possibly next time I want to make a belt, I might get it made by Button Mania and see if they do a better job than I do. I'm not sure that they would. And I'm not sure that this isn't as good as self-covered belts that you buy on a dress that's already made up, that you buy from the shops. So pretty happy with this. Looks nice on the dress, but that was my adventures of trying to find something that I could use instead of belting, and was able to source those buckles from, it was called Witch something. I've talked about it before, but yeah, so that was a weird navy blue one that I'd made, which I may use because it's not perfect, but I don't think that you can tell. So I do like things to be absolutely perfect, but not possible with this. And I thought, how many of those belt self-covering belt buckles do I waste in an effort to try and get something to look perfect when it actually looks perfectly fine when I've got the dress on. So still got this piece of belting left. You can see if you went to if you were going to curl it a really long way, you could see it starts to buckle up. See, it starts to get those little puckered bits. You could probably press it down harder, but when you're doing it in the round like that, like for your waist, it doesn't have that. But that buckram is actually adhesive. Just looking at my docket, and it's just called Buckram Tape White 100 millimeters. And I bought 2 meters of it. So that was my adventures. Even though they told me it was not adhesive, it is adhesive. You know how you can feel the glue on things like you can on interfacing. So that was my adventures with making a belt. I won't be showing people how to do it because I'm honestly not good enough at doing it. I did watch video tutorials, but they were always using a different brand of belt buckle. Does it same system, and I did use interfacing inside this fabric for the belt buckle. The fabric is far too fine just to do it directly on it. So it's got interfacing in it, and then it has like this little stick-on pad that then you cut around, you tear off the other side, and that's sticky, and that's how you get it to all click inside. And then you can see that it's got this part inside here that fits in, sort of like a self-covered button does, but it doesn't work out as neat as self-covered buttons. So that was my adventures with the self-covered belt, but pretty happy with how it looks. So in the end, worked out okay. What I'm wearing today is the Norma blouse by Fibre Mood. Now this is really quite too big for me, as you can see right down the front of it. And when I made it, it seemed a bit plain, so I had this lace, so I sewed that lace on it. It's also got lace on the bottom part of it. So just a stay-at-home day today, so that's what I've been doing. And that's the Fibre Mood Norma blouse. And by the look of it, I made the size UK 16, European 44, which is way too big for me. And I took it in heaps as well. And I can already tell that it's too big because the shoulders are not where my joint is. So I quite like it, but it's very low cut, very low cut. You can see right down the front of it. But if you made a smaller size, it might be able to bring it up higher. Or if I made the neck smaller anyway. But this was just from some scrap fabric I had from I don't know where. And yeah, just wanted to make a blouse and see what that Norma blouse was like. Now the other things I've made this week was, remember last week when I had made a toile for the Sandalette dress, and I'd made, I think the fronts of it I'd made out of this white calico. Well, I was so happy with that white calico that I unpicked that piece of scrap blue and white fabric off the back of it, cut a back out of the calico. It has got a fair bit of slub going on in it. You know, it's not perfect fabric, but I really like the way this looked. It was really crisp because it irons up so well, very crisp. I decided I would make actually a wearable blouse out of it. So that's what I did this week. I will pop photos in. Really happy with this shirt, and I've worn it already. So yeah, a good make. Always a good make. You know it's a good make when you've worn it already. And that was the Sandalette dress, and I made the blouse. Still making it technically sleeveless, just with a grown-on sleeve or drop shoulder. Very easy make. I think I had that made in 50 minutes, not accounting for the fact that I had to unpick the back of it. But really quick. So the other thing I'd made, and even though it looks very similar because it's got that, actually, if we compare the two, we can see actually that the turn down, the necks are slightly different. Now this is my leftover Nerida Hansen fabric that I wanted to use, and I didn't really have enough fabric to do very much with. Probably because I'd made the belt, but I didn't have much fabric left. So what I made was a Helen's Closet shirt with no collar. And so has no collar, so these parts just turn back. I didn't want to make a shirt that you'd be able to see the fact that the inside was white, because I could have easily gotten that out of it. And because I didn't have enough fabric, I had to cut the fronts shorter. So I just made this little band that went just on the front part. There's no band at the back because I had enough fabric to cut a full back out of it. It's still the short style, as if it was going to be the tie in the front, but it's not tie at the front. So I did that. I put some little wooden buttons that I had on it. Not enough fabric to do the extended facings all the way down. The facing only goes to where those buttons are, but managed to get a wearable blouse out of it and a nice sleeve. So this is just a nice summery shirt, something to do with the scraps, and I literally have not one little tiny piece left. So pieced together what I had so that I could get a shirt out of it. And I wanted to make it not a pop over the head shirt, which is what I usually make, but something that I could wear this over like a tank top, or actually probably look quite nice over a purple or a mauve tank top or a pink one. Yeah, so that I could wear it open like a little bit of a summer jacket. So that's what I've been doing this week. Now the other thing I've been doing is I have been cutting out the Cottesloe bathers pattern. I'll show you. Now this is the Megan Nielsen's Cottesloe bathers, and I'm going to make view B, which is this one. So it's high back, normal front, and I'm going to put a shelf bra in it. So I managed to get from the Remnant warehouse, I got what was called like a lycra swimwear package, where you get 3 pieces of fabric. Altogether they are 2 meters. So it's just like random pieces. It's really cost effective, and I already had power mesh to make the shelf bra out of. I already had the elastic to make the shelf bra out of. So I'm going to give that a try, because I do believe I might need to make several pairs before I get them to fit perfectly. And once I've got the fit perfect, then I will invest in some more expensive lycra. I've actually been finding it quite difficult to find sturdy, for want of a better word, lycra, or not really compression lycra, just something sturdy, and I'm not sure if I need to put power mesh in the front of it, or eventually when I work out what's going to fit, you can always make like the front side of that one ruched to one side and all of that sort of stuff to hide your pot stomach. Yeah, so I'm just giving it a try to see how that works out. Because the other day I decided that I went swimming at my sister's pool and I really don't have any bathers that fit me, that you could just about fall off and they look like a dress. So I decided that it's time to make some. And the other thing that I've cut out is a yoga bag for my sister. So this is a Patterns by Annie yoga bag pattern. I have made it, I think, 1 inch longer. She puts extra stuff in her bag, and I'm not sure if she wants the shoulder strap as well as the other straps, but I'll ask her that when I'm away on the weekend. But I'm going to be making that. So I'm in the middle of making a swimsuit and a yoga bag. I know what else I did. I put up my nanny sewing room sign that I got from my girls for Christmas. As you can see, that's my sign there. It is light, reflecting all the light. It's made of like mirrored laser cut. I guess it's plastic. But I'll insert some photos so that you can see it better. So that's all from me this week. I am off to Daylesford on a sister's weekend with my 4 sisters. So that should be great fun. We won't be back till early next week. And now I best go and make a vegetarian lasagna, a tiramisu and a chocolate tiramisu because one person does not drink coffee, and some chocolate brownies that I'm going to be taking with me. Everyone have a fabulous weekend. Please like and subscribe. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.